So welcome everyone. This is the live workshop with me, Layla B. This is all about traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. We had a live workshop yesterday, and because not everyone could get in, there's a limit of 150 people. So I decided, okay, let's do another one today. And so hopefully you'll get benefit, and I'm so glad you can join me here today. Ellie's saying she cannot hear. Let's check the settings. I'll just type that for her because obviously she can't hear me. I'll keep questions until the end. We have a Q&A session at the end. So if you have any questions, specific questions, please keep them until the end. Otherwise, they will get lost here in the chat. And throughout the webinar, I'll try to keep it a little interactive. So I'll ask you some questions and you can chime in whenever you feel ready to. Okay, so all I'm asking you in return is if you would like to silence your phones, try not to check your Facebook. I know that's hard. I've closed mine. I've closed my emails. Give me your attention and give it to yourselves. So we've all made the effort to be here today to share and learn together. So hopefully it will be of benefit to you and the people you serve. And I've mentioned reference. So if you like something and you want to write about it on your social media, your blogs, just reference that it comes from traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine from laylab.co.uk, so people know what it's about and will understand it. This is a workshop where I'll be going through traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine, giving you an overview and insight. And then if you like it and if you feel the calling and you want to go deeper and you want to learn how to do the things specifically, I will share for about 10-15 minutes at the end, after I've shared everything with you, how you can continue that with me if you're interested. Great, Suzanne. Audio and visual and chat all working. Perfect. So ahlan, I'm Layla. That means welcome. My name is Layla. That beautiful picture in the background, that's me. And then you see the city of Chefchaouen in Morocco. It's in the north. And it's a small blue wash town. My grandparents were from there, and my parents were both born there. It's a beautiful town, and I've met some traditional midwives there as well. So thank you for being here. I'm just going to share a little bit about myself before we get started, just so you know who I am and what I do. You probably know, but I'll just share for those who do not. So I'm originally Moroccan, and I'm also British. I'm a British national because I was born in England and I lived there for many years as well. I'm very multi-passionate. Maybe you've noticed that. So I like to do lots of different projects and lots of different things. I'm an entrepreneur. The first conference, I organized the first natural birth and breastfeeding conference here in the United Arab Emirates in 2015 and 2016. And I consider myself to be a global person, and that's the type of people I attract. So as you can see today, we have people from all around the world, which is amazing. So thank you so much. I'll just continue to mute everyone so we don't have any sounds coming in. So I'm also a mother of 3 young children, a 1-year-old, almost 3-year-old, and a 4.5-year-old. I'm very busy. Traditional midwives. I've been studying with traditional midwives in Morocco for the past 4 years, more or less. There's 3 main ones who I work with in the north, and I'm planning to go explore Morocco in the south and meet others, because I'm sure that we have other different traditions that will be interesting. I try to be a change maker. So, for example, with the postpartum culture, I'm trying to make a change and get women to know that they deserve this time, that they should think about this time, and how we as women can support them, either through women in our lives directly or as professionals as well. So hopefully we'll all inspire each other. And I'm trying to make change in the birth culture in Morocco because it's changed so much. And it's a dire situation, so hopefully I'm going to try and influence and get the ball rolling over there. Plus 15 kilos. As a mother of 3 with 3 consecutive babies, I've gained, yes, I gained more, but then obviously slowly it was going down. So now I've lost a few kilos and I'm Trying to lose the rest slowly but surely. I'm taking it easy. And Mothers of Morocco charity. So next year I'm planning to open a charity, register a charity in England and Morocco. And it will be all about raising funds to support traditional midwives in Morocco, to keep the knowledge alive, and to provide education and training in the birth culture as well. I'll keep you all updated through the newsletters and things like that. So there'll be opportunities for volunteering and things like that. So my mission is to revive, reclaim, and restore traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine, to document it, to keep it alive, to share it. I'm doing an online training, so I want women to join me on that mission. And I'm trying to write a book. It's very difficult with 3 young children and the work I'm doing, but slowly but surely I will get it done. This is just a quote from Her Excellency Sheikha Budur bint Sultan Al Qasimi. She was an amazing, she's from the ruling family in Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates, and she was the patron of my conferences. So without her support, it couldn't have happened. So I'm very grateful to her for supporting me and help bring change here in the UAE, in the birth and breastfeeding scene. So just wanted to thank her and show you what she had to say. So a little bit about today's workshop. It's all about taking you from wherever you are now to hopefully enhancing the life of new mothers around you and your own lives as well. And also going from being isolated, and what I mean in terms of that is, apart from new mothers being isolated, also for some of us, we're isolated in the work we do, so we don't get to share, to form the tribes, we don't get to connect, to network, and sometimes we want to do different trainings and to train with people in these areas, but they may not be accessible to us, we may not find the right courses. So hopefully we'll go from that, and from wanting to support new mothers holistically and traditionally, to being able to join a tribe together and changing the international postpartum vibe. For those of you on the Facebook group, Traditional Postpartum Doulas, that's a great place. It's grown so much the past week, and we have a diverse selection of people in there. So please join if you haven't, and join in on the conversations. So we want to go from worrying about appropriation and extinction of these traditional rituals and culture, to being able to understand it and give back and revive, reclaim, and restore. So a quick thing on appropriation. It's not about not wanting to share. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. Otherwise, the speakers on the summits would not have, shared either. It's about sharing and then finding ways and providing opportunities that you can join all women. For me, I work with women from all backgrounds. So how you can join other programs and share respectfully, ethically, sustainably, and where we all are always giving back. So with my work, that's my aim. Even as a Moroccan, I make sure even more so that I need to give back to the women who support me and the women of my country, and to revive and reclaim and restore this. We don't want to see these traditions dying. Unfortunately, that has happened in many, many cultures. So that's a big passion of mine. And from wanting to enhance and grow your business to doing that. So for anyone who's an entrepreneur, many of the doulas, postpartum doulas, and other women who work with women directly will be entrepreneurs running your own business. So we always are looking for ways to enhance, grow a business, or even to start the business. And there's no shame in that. Even traditional midwives used to either make money from their services, or usually they would be donated meats, groceries. So there was always an exchange, which is absolutely fine. So we want to serve more women traditionally, ethically, while giving back and making money. Why not? So before we get started, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to take you into the traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine. We'll have 6 lessons, an introduction, and then I'll go through all the stages. I'll explain them in a minute. So please get settled in, grab your notebook if you need to. We'll have a Q&A at the end as well. So I'll be here to answer all your questions. So first up, let's keep it a little interactive, and let me make sure you're there. Why are you here? So if you can just share a few lines in the chat. What attracted you here today? And yeah, go. You can just go in the chat. I'll continue, but it'll be nice to have your feedback and to keep this interactive. Athira is pregnant with number 4. Congratulations. That's amazing. I'm currently pregnant with my first child, Eva. Thank you. That's amazing. Congratulations. Athira, probably 4th boy. Ah, nice. Expecting my first baby. I'm an occupational therapist and looking to go into women's health. Just had a 2nd child. Congratulations. Pregnant with my first. Oh, mashallah. Lots of pregnant women today. Ellie, pregnant with my 3rd. Ria, because there's no one type of care. I want to help my clients as much as possible. I'm beginning my studies to become a birth and postpartum doula. Danielle, hello. Imara, I work with women around the use of indigenous womb healing, and I'm very interested in supporting postpartum. Wonderful. Okay, perfect. So hopefully we'll share lots of information here. The chance to learn from women around the world. Really enjoyed the summit. I love Morocco and the people, so would like to learn more. Thank you. Hopefully you'll enjoy the course as well. I'm midwife and want to learn more. I've loved everything pregnancy and birth, dreamt of being a doula. Okay, hopefully the time is right now for you. Katie, I am postpartum doula and I work with women from many cultures. I'm here because I'm a nurse who may pursue women's health later and currently pregnant. Congratulations to all the women here. So hopefully you'll have lots of knowledge for your own postpartums as well. Someone wants to join and it says invalid address. Is there more room? There's plenty of room. There's still room here. I'm a childbirth educator and support mothers throughout pregnancy. If you can just give her the link again on the Facebook group, if you can do that. I'm not going into Facebook, so I can concentrate, but if you can do that, that would be great. I have an 8-month-old. Congratulations. And you would like to support women holistically and naturally. Okay, perfect. You can continue. I'll just carry on. Starting my practice in the UK. Amazing. Congrats. Perfect. Thank you for all sharing. So why now? Why do we need to, for all of us, why is this an important time right now to start talking about this and sharing and learning and supporting new mothers around the world? Hey Marta, you're a doula and pregnant. Congratulations. So I wanted to share this this quote that a woman sent me after reading one of my articles, and I think it will sum it up. I felt I couldn't share with anyone how desperately alone and unattached I felt. It was such a tremendous job and I didn't know who I was anymore. And I truly felt no one was moving me into this chapter of becoming a mother. When I hear of other cultures who honor this process, I weep because I didn't have that, and I feel a deep sense of loss and that there is still pain from not having been supported. The 40-day open grave really resonates. I have never felt so vulnerable in my life, physically, mentally, and emotionally. That the Moroccan midwives have a clear visual metaphor for that time for the new mother is inspiring. Who wouldn't help the mother and care for the baby in such a dangerous time? Thank you. So that sums it up. For anyone who's had a baby, who's been pregnant, you know how hard it is. If you've been working with women who've had babies, you know that that time is very vulnerable. So that's why I'm very passionate about it. Thank you, Leandra, for sharing. And Ellie's saying, I couldn't join from the link yesterday without using the app if someone can't log in. Oh, I'm not sure about this. Unfortunately, I can't get out of here, otherwise it will close everything down. So I'll just have to continue. If you can share the links with the people who are asking, that will be great. So this is another quote. You can read this one if you would like. It's just another important message from a licensed midwife who shared with me. So we all have heard about postpartum depression. It's become a hot topic nowadays. We hear about postpartum depression with women around the world, and the rates are increasing. And so many new mothers are suffering with this, suffering from postpartum psychosis, traumas, and in the worst cases, suicide. And that's so sad, because it's sad that you know, what is this woman feeling or going through to be able to go through that at such a vulnerable time? It's not easy, and your life changes drastically. So I really hope we can all be there for new mothers all around the world. Isolation, loneliness, community. Where is the community? I keep saying, we don't even know who our neighbors are anymore in many places. And before, previously, in traditional culture in Morocco, as soon as a new mother has a baby, the neighbors take turns to bring her food, to come and make sure she's okay. And this wasn't, this was expected. It wasn't strange or anything like that. It was completely normal and expected that the neighbors were there to take care of each other. So this is something we can try and implement in our lives slowly. And culture, we want to keep these cultures alive that are still doing this and implement them, because all cultures before used to do this in some form or the other as well. So hopefully after today we'll get more inspiration and we can share together. And then from my side, from my story, why I got into all of this, it started with from the most recent part of my life was my postpartum experience with my second and third baby, with Amina, Qabla Amina. She's a traditional midwife in Morocco, and Nabila, her daughter. And I went back to Morocco after I gave birth, and I called them. They came to my house. They gave me a traditional bath, just in the house, in the shower, using lots of apple mint and herbs and natural products. And the daughter, Nabila, was in the kitchen. She cooked me the special postpartum dish. Everything was smelling amazing. They clothed my body. And we all sat around the table all together with my parents. I think my brother was there, my sister-in-law. And we ate the meal. The baby was around. They took turns helping me with the baby. So this was such an amazing experience. And it was in that day that I thought, okay, Qabla Amina, apart from being a Qabla, she's just like a traditional doula. And it would be amazing if we could spread this around the world and support new mothers. And hopefully this will also help with mothers for their breastfeeding journeys, just having someone there, having someone to reference to if they're having any problems. Thank you, Chloe. She said you're right. Thank you. So hopefully we'll be able to do that together. So going back after that to Muawiyah, that was my first birth, my son, in 2014 in January. And that was a very negative birth experience. It was my first. I didn't prepare myself for a birth in the hospital. I just thought everything would happen naturally, because I thought, okay, it's a natural occurrence. And I wasn't in this field, so I went to the hospital and I didn't go with my voice. So I ended up on the monitor. I ended up with the epidural, with episiotomy, without any consent. I felt sick. I had the catheter. I was vomiting. My mom couldn't stay with me in the hospital because you have to share the rooms, because I wasn't allowed to pay for a room because I had the catheter, which doesn't make sense to me, but anyways. So my mother couldn't stay there with me at night, so I was absolutely alone. Other mothers crying, other babies crying, my baby crying. Breastfeeding was difficult, so I just sat in my little cubicle with a curtain and cried. There was about 12 women, one bathroom. I'm grateful for the services that England provides, and it's free for British people, so I am grateful for that. But still, there's always ways we can improve, because they were very, very busy, and the midwife would not even help me to get my stockings on, and she yelled at me because she said the cesarean mums need more help than you. So she left me there. I was in tears. I laugh now, but it wasn't funny at the time. I was very upset. And if I did not have my parents to take care of me, bring me food in the morning, and then take me home and pamper me and treat me and take care of me and cook for me, I'm sure I would have had extreme postpartum depression. So I'm grateful for the help I got. And I'm grateful because through all these experiences, it's where I am today and why I do what I do. So we learn from everything. And my next two births were very positive. So that's fine. As I mentioned, I'm very multi-passionate. So I did a master's degree at the London College of Fashion in fashion marketing. I did an internship in business with a model called Caprice in London. I also worked as a treasury control analyst. Yes, that's strange. I love numbers, in Morgan Stanley in London. And I live in the United Arab Emirates. I've lived in Morocco, I've lived in England, and I've worked with many charities. So lots of diversity in there. And then also, why now? Because of my parents' struggle to help me and to get me to where I am today, and for the Moroccan women's struggle. They always inspire me to do more and to then be able to help them and to create projects. And hopefully I want to open a center in Morocco to help women through training, education programs, and then hopefully one day a birth center if possible. And God, I'm always thankful to God for where I am today. So before we just start the lesson, I want to share with you an audio from Pilar. She's a beautiful woman who came to the retreat in Morocco last year. Let me just mute someone came in. And she's such a beautiful, wise woman. And she was the lucky one who got to have everyone got the hammam and the closing and got to experience everything. But she got an extra version where the traditional midwives were demonstrating on her. And even though everyone was watching, she had an amazing time. So we recorded her testimony. So I want you to hear what she says, because it's very emotional, and you'll hear why, even after 10 years, this kind of work is very important and very important for women to receive. So I'll just play it. I'll just put my sound up and you can just listen. I will not show the video because it doesn't work correctly with the connection, but you can listen.
So greetings everyone. My name is Ma'at and I'm from Los Angeles, California. And so today I was given the sacred postpartum bath by the traditional midwife here in Morocco, and it was life-changing. So it's hard for me to put it in words because I still feel it. I've been kind of like on a whole nother plane, if that makes sense to those who are listening to my testimony. But I almost feel like I'm floating. Immediately, just the smell of the herbs on the hot stones started to do something to me, transform, and I was like, am I supposed to be feeling like this? But it's a good thing. And just to have them touch, and you can feel all the love that they put into the work that they do. And I'm just forever grateful. I don't know how to repay them. I wish I could. I want to always honor those who give so much of themselves and never ask for anything in return. And I can just feel it. I know. And Layla's told us that most of them don't even get paid for their services, but you can feel the love and the energy that's coming from them. And I wish there was a way that I could truly repay them, and so that they would know how much it meant to me just for them to do the bath on me today. And my baby is 10, but it still had a major, major effect on me. Something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. It's a healing that's hard to put into words. And every mom deserves it. Every mother deserves to feel how I feel right now. And I didn't have a baby. I had a baby 10 years ago. But because no one was there to give me this, I feel as if I just gave birth. Or maybe it's just that I feel like I'm being reborn. And so I give thanks. And thank you, Layla, for having the retreat. And I hope one day I can return. And I pray that everything that I learned, that I remember to honor those who came before me, who's been doing this work. May I always honor them and give them the credit for all that they've taught us and for all that they do for everybody. That's it. I'm grateful beyond words.
Thank you to Pilar for sharing. That's so emotional. Every time I hear that, I feel I'm in tears. And when we recorded her, she had just had her sessions. I thought, okay, let's do it now because she can share her true experience. And I had no idea she would be that emotional. And she said, I was trying to hold these tears. Why did they come? and she'll be coming next year again. I invited her to come back on a scholarship because she was just so amazing, and she worked so hard to be there that year. So I thought, please join us. You deserve it. So thank you, Pilar. So does that sound familiar or unfamiliar in your own lives, in the lives of the women you meet? It's so important to take care of new moms. I get stories like this too, Marianne. Yes, it's amazing, especially when they're 10 years postpartum. And so you can share with me in the chat if you would like what's resonating with you most so far, and does that sound familiar to you ladies or not? Okay, so just a quick, this is just from a lady called Tekoa, and she was very passionate. And she wrote, I often struggle with reconciling modernity's disconnection from culture and community we have had to suffer for its progress and advancements. I know so many friends, family members, clients, and myself who have experienced difficulty during this realm of motherhood, from the lack of wisdom that we need to be passed down to us to truly nourish ourselves. So I just wanted to share that with you. And let's go into the lessons now. So we're going to start with traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine. I've abbreviated it to TMPM. So the first lesson is an introduction. So before we get into it, what is it? What is it anyway? So as the name explains, it's based on traditional practices from Morocco for the postpartum period. And it's known as medicine. So traditional medicine, obviously not conventional medicine. I had a lady who was asking me, what do you mean medicine? This is not medicine. So I just explained to her, it's always a chance to educate. So previously in all cultures before the conventional medicine, everybody was using herbs, foods, and all different sorts of things, cupping, to heal themselves naturally and their families and the people around them. So these rituals, these practices, the food that they serve in the postpartum period is all a form of medicine, traditional medicine, to help the mother heal and to help her prevent any ailments in the future and in that moment as well. So this is what it's all about. I wrote a little poem. If you've seen the video I shared in the group and in my pages, this is taken from there. So I want to take you on a journey, the journey of the Nafsa, the Nafisa, the new mother. In Morocco, we say her grave is open for 40 days because she is vulnerable in so many ways. We use postpartum healing medicine, so ancient, sacred, wise, and feminine. So first, before you know about what these stages are, we need to know a little bit about the kingdom. Yes, Morocco is the kingdom of Morocco, and we have the most fabulous king. I'm really grateful for the ruler we have in Morocco. He's made so much change in the country, and he's always improving it and helping women and all the people of the country. So I'm thankful for that. That's the flag of our country, and it's a place which was also, like many other countries, full of colonization. Morocco gained its independence in 1956, the year my father was born. And so we have influences from all different types of countries. So just as an example, from Tangier, the city where I live, in the north, we were colonized by France, Spain, Belgium, the Netherlands, Italy, England. I think there was some influences as well from the colonization from the USA. So lots and lots of different influences there in Morocco that are still visible today throughout the country. We have strong culture in Morocco, so lots of oral culture has been passed down through oral traditions and through practice. Lots of folklore, lots of culture around celebrations and festivities. And for the postpartum mother, definitely as well. It's not as strong as it used to be, but it's still there. It's still there, so hopefully it will get stronger again and stay that way. But because, you know, we have a lot of modernization, globalization, colonization that all affects it. But together we can make that change. So the main religion it's a Muslim country, Islam. And that's the main religion. Previously there were lots of Jewish people who were living in Morocco, and they were Jewish Moroccans. And we still have the influences there as well, which is great. It's very diverse. And the word Berber. So a lot of people use the word Berber to define the ethnic group of people in Morocco, but Berber is actually a derogatory term, and many people don't know that. A few years ago, I didn't know that myself because everyone uses that word. So the people of Morocco are known as the Amazigh. The French people may know it comes from the word barbare, so barbarian. I hope I pronounced that correctly in French. So the colonizers, the French wanted, they were trying to civilize people. So they were using this term to define the people. And now it's spread all across the world. But we refer to the people as the Amazigh. So that's just good to know. And a little on the history of birth versus the birth culture now. Historically, home birth was the thing. So all women were giving birth in their own homes. Traditional midwives would attend to them, and also other women in their family. It was mainly birth with women. Hardly any men would be present or ever present. So mother-in-law, your own mother, aunties, sisters, cousins, friends, family, neighbors. And then, of course, the traditional midwives played a huge part. The culture now has changed drastically. There's very little traditional midwives. One, because it's difficult for them to practice because much of the birth is happening in hospitals, and it's difficult for them to get a license and to function. So they mainly work in rural areas. And yes, so there's hospital birth, public and private. The private is very expensive and lots of cesareans going on. And the public is free for people who have low income, but it's very overcrowded. There's the rights of women in childbirth are neglected, and it's very, very hard for women. So hopefully I'm trying to make change in that aspect as well. So traditional qablas, of course we had traditional qablas, we still have them today. They're also declining because not a lot of other younger women want to take on this work because it's very low income, and women are having access to education now, so they prefer to get an education, try to get a job, go to university, rather than having a job as a traditional midwife where the salary, the income is very low, and it's very difficult for them to work, and they're not very highly regarded as we regard them. So it's difficult, and they're on the decline. That's why I'm trying to document a lot from them. All the traditional midwives I meet have been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years plus, so obviously they're older. So that is a shame, but that's the reality. So a little bit history of postpartum versus postpartum now. So we still have the traditional 40-day postpartum period in Morocco. That was the absolute norm previously. Before, all women would have, these traditions, these rituals that I'm going to explain in the stages. Oh, qabla. Thank you, Suzanne. Let me just explain what a qabla is. Yesterday I explained it. Thank you for reminding me. So a qabla, I just assumed everyone gets it now. A qabla comes from the Arabic word qubul, which means to receive. So basically it means a receiver, which is such a beautiful word. I love that word because it represents it perfectly. She's not birthing the baby, she's not delivering the baby, she's there to receive the baby and help the mom receive her baby. So a qabla is a traditional midwife, basically, a receiver. Beautiful definition, thank you. So yes, as I mentioned, we had the traditional 40 days postpartum period. The new mother, the nafsa, so nafsa means new mother in Arabic. In Morocco we say nfisa, that's the dialect. So she was extremely highly regarded, very significant. They knew her vulnerability, and as soon as she gave birth, even in the last months of pregnancy, she was not meant to do anything. The other women took care of everything. People cooked for her, beautified her, performed all the rituals for her, and she was the queen. And that's about it. The postpartum now in Morocco, we still have these traditions. Some families will do a bit from here and there. Unfortunately, some of these traditions are not even known. For example, the closing and things like that. And in the cities, because of birth in hospitals, this has declined very much. So the knowledge is not there, the education is not there. And even for some people, it's, you know, when the country is becoming more modern and people are trying to be more modern, they believe that these traditions are very old school, these traditions are not important, these traditions are from the traditional midwives who are illiterate, and they do not respect that. So I'm trying to put some education around that to try and hopefully get this postpartum revived again in the country itself and around the world. So a little bit on Islamic medicine. As I mentioned, Morocco is predominantly a Muslim country, and in Islam has come around approximately 1,400 years ago. And so there's lots of traditions and natural medicine that was used in that time by the prophets Muhammad, peace be upon him, such as, for example, and the henna leaf, dates, black seed, cupping. And when I look at these things, when I start to research some of these areas, I can see that they're available in the Moroccan postpartum medicine as well. So we use the henna for rubbing on the woman's body to help with the aches and pains. They use it for beautification as well, on the hair as well. Black seed's very good. Dates, now it's great because obviously all this information is traditional knowledge, so we don't have the scientific evidence for most things, but for some things we're starting to see evidence coming about now. And for dates, for example, there's lots of evidence on the importance of dates in pregnancy and how that helps shorten the labor and help the woman have a easier birth, let's say, easier in parentheses. So dates, that's a normal way of life in Morocco and in the Middle East, North Africa, and they're very common in Morocco as well, and during pregnancy and the postpartum period. So there may be some influences from the Islamic medicine mixed in with the Moroccan culture as well. So 6 stages of healing. I've broken it down into 6 stages so my time in Morocco, being Moroccan, from learning from my grandmothers, my mom, my aunties, elders that I meet in the market, and the traditional midwives, I've come up with 6 stages. You may have heard me talk about them before. There's welcome her, honor her, nourish her, nurture her, close her, and celebrate her. So all of these steps can be done together. It doesn't mean you do one at a time, or one day do this, one day do that. So they're all done together, and these are all important stages to heal the new mom and help her recover and prevent future ailments. So why do we need this traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine? It's ancient sacred wisdom, so we need to keep that alive. Yes, it's not based on scientific evidence, but the evidence lies in the fact that it's been done for generations. The traditional midwife tells me since the beginning of time. Some of the midwives come from a long, long lineage of healers and midwives. And it's there to help the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual changes that a woman can go through at the time of her birth and after she becomes a new mom. It aids the healing and enhances the healing and prevents future ailments. And it's all about changing the international postpartum vibe and building a tribe like we're doing here today. So this medicine will help you to reach more women, serve them more holistically, create a bigger impact in your life and the society you're living in, to give back as well and to make more money. So as I mentioned, the traditional midwives have hardly any income. So when we give back to them through, any trainings, courses, events that I do, I work with them closely, I pay them well, and then I always give back to them. I do some workshops that are free and I donate all the money to them, or I'm through any course I sell, there's a percentage that goes to them. So they're always there in my mind and supporting them to give back. To honor them, it's important to honor and appreciate them. So welcoming and honoring her. This is the 2nd stage. I've put them both together. So this happens starting, from pregnancy. We're welcoming the woman. We're honoring her. She's going to be a new mom. And it's important that we acknowledge that and respect that. So this is what it's all about. This is from the video. So we welcome and honor her. Always a woman by her side, ready to support her and provide. Letting her sleep, rest, and recover, while she makes sure she has a cover. She is supported and we remove the weight from her shoulder, never letting her to feel colder. So it's all about, as you can see, letting her rest. How can we honor this woman? Let's appreciate the facts of the miracle that a human, a baby, has been created. Of course, I believe it's through the gifts of God, but still, it's her body that has grown this baby, nourished it, birthed it. So that's a huge thing. I know we just take that for granted because most women have babies and we just think, okay, that's normal. But it is normal, but it's a huge thing. So after a woman gives birth, she needs a lot of rest, a lot of support, a lot of care, rest. We need to nourish her, support her, and provide lots of rituals. So a little question, see if you're all awake and here with me. So who is a nafsa? So the nafsa is a new mother. Is she, in the Moroccan culture, A, treated like a bride, B, a vulnerable woman, C, significant, or D, none, or E, all of the above? Let me know what you think in the chat. Share with me. Danielle says E, all of the above. I see E. Who else? What else do you think? E, Jannat, hello, Marianne, Precious, E. Yes, you're with me, all of you. Sarah, Rose. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Nira, Pixie, Anya. Yes, E. She is all of them, exactly. She is all of them and more. We'll go into that in a little bit. Charlotte, E, thank you. So how do we welcome and honor the new mother? In traditional Moroccan medicine, we need to make sure she gets her rest and support. So letting her rest as much as possible, not doing housework, not cleaning, not cooking, basically not doing anything, just taking care of herself to rest and of her baby. So feed her baby, change baby. Sometimes other women will change the baby as well. So whatever the mom wants, but that's important, rest. Love and compassion. So we need to show the moms lots of love and compassion. They're at a very vulnerable time. Everything has changed drastically from one moment to the other. So we need to be compassionate. Warmth. This is a big thing in traditional Moroccan medicine and in many other cultures too. We try to keep the mother warm. So even while she's giving birth, she's kept warm. After birth, she needs to be kept warm. Many new moms give birth and they feel extremely cold. So we need to keep her warm, give her warm foods. And everything is about warmth. Not letting her be cold because it could affect her, even if not then, in the future. So this is an important one, realism and listening. So listening to the new mom, just giving her that space where we can listen and give her the company she needs, and being realistic. I think we all hear the words, and sometimes we may have even used them. Just rest when baby's resting. Please just sleep when baby sleeps. Oh, don't do the housework. Just leave it. You just need to rest. Okay, that makes sense, but if we leave the housework, who's going to do it if we do not have any support? You could leave the dishes, but when they run out, who's going to be there to help you? So we need to be realistic. Instead of saying things like that, we could say, okay, so who do you know that could help you? And this could be in pregnancy. We're making a plan. So who will help you in your postpartum period? Who's going to be feeding you? Who's going to be cleaning the house? Do you have a partner? Do you have a friend, a sister, a relative, a mother? Okay, if you do not have any of those, you can get some paid support. If you're able to, you can get a cleaner to do the cleaning. You can get a postpartum doula to support you, taking care of things, to support you and let you relax, to support you with offering the hammam, with the binding, with all sorts of rituals. So we need to be realistic. And we also have beautification and prayers in Morocco. So lots of prayers and making supplications for the new mom and the baby. Beautification, not in terms of, getting all dressed up and putting makeup on just for the sake of it. But if a mom wants to do that, of course, why not? More power to her. But in Morocco, they prepare new clothes for her. So as we said, she's like a bride. So new brides will have lots of clothes for the wedding and for after the wedding. This is in the traditional Moroccan culture. So lots of emphasis on the bride. So for the new mother, it's the same. They prepare lots of nice new outfits for her, all new, clean, beautiful, and she can get to wear them while everyone else is doing all the housework and feeding her. And there's also lots of nice jewelry, gold and silver, that the mom can use as well. and henna decorated on her hands and feet. And there's lots of rituals that we're going to be discussing in a moment. And that's a big way to honor the mom, to show her importance and let her be a new mom. Self-care. By self-care, the only thing I mean is that the only self-care a new mom should be doing is allowing others to take care of her. So that's her self-care. She should be able to say, okay, I will allow others to take care of me, because it's very hard in these times, especially now with all the modernity. Everyone is individualized. Everyone is doing things for themselves, not wanting to receive support, not wanting to ask for support. So we need to help educate all women that it's okay. You need the help. You deserve the help. You've done a huge thing, a good job. So regardless, and for the beautiful women whose babies don't make it, it's so sad. And that's the hardest thing. I've never experienced that. So I could not even imagine how hard that is. So these moms need even more support. They need all these rituals. They need all this care. They need to be taken care of too much. I cannot emphasize that. So self-care is not a thing in the postpartum. The only self-care is letting others to take care of you and to treat you with love, respect, welcome you, and honor you. Of course, if you're not going to have someone there all the time, so they could prepare your herbs or things in advance. And then your self-care could be running a womb steam that I'll talk about later for yourself, or the hammam, or something like that. Marianne, I agree. I took care of a mom who lost her baby within 9 months of pregnancy. Yeah, that's so hard. Of course, it's the hardest thing for the mother. And as I said, I would never imagine or pretend to know I know how it feels, because I do not. But it's unimaginable, really. And these moms need so much support, so much love. And if you can reach out to them and help them, then you'll be doing a big support for these women. So we should always be there for our fellow women. And we welcome and honor her through other stages. So all the other stages I'm going to talk about is a form of welcoming and honor her. So we just need to let her be a new mother. That's her job. She's a new mother. That's a big job. That's all she should be. So why do we need to welcome and honor her? This is exactly the same as I mentioned before, so I will not repeat it again. And it will be repeated on all the slides, so it's the same thing. This is just a quick quote from a lady, Zachi, who came to a workshop of mine in London. And we talked about all these things I'm talking about today, and she felt these things were very beautiful, important, and necessary. So I just wanted to share that with you to get feedback from what other people are experiencing as well. So now an important one, nourish her. Nourish her with good foods and drinks. This is extremely important. Food is a form of medicine and healing, and it's everything in life. We need food to survive. So what is it anyways? So this is what it's all about. We nourish her. We feed her, and we feed her well, healing her body and soul. Herbs, warming spices, hot drinks, and soups in her bowl. So as I mentioned before, it's all about warmth. And of course, we have Moroccan food in Morocco. Maybe you've tried it before. Have you ever tried Moroccan food wherever you're from? There's lots of restaurants now all over the world. So Moroccan food is aromatic, lots of herbs and spices in all dishes. It's hearty, it's warming. It's recognized, as I said, in many different countries. And it's delicious. I'm biased because I'm Moroccan and I like the food. So Jannat is saying her favorite food is couscous. I just had that today. I made it today before I got on the call for my family. So food, it's not only about eating to survive in Morocco. It's very cultural. It's all about sharing food. Most families will eat on one plate together around the table, usually round tables. And it's all about hospitality, sharing together. And it's a huge cultural thing. LD likes tagine and pastilla. Delicious. Sorry, let me go back. Wait, I'm going forward, not back. Okay, here we go. So Moroccan food has roots, the Amazigh roots, of course, and then as well from some Andalusia in Spain, Sub-Saharan Africa, Arabia and the Mediterranean. So how can we nourish the new mom? How do we do that in traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine? You may have heard of the hot versus cold in the postpartum. So in Morocco, we make sure it's all about the warmth. So in the pregnancy state, the new mom is usually in a hotter state. So it's okay for her to eat. If she's eating, cold things, that's fine. And we do not give her certain herbs and spices that are very warming in the pregnancy stage. And then after she gives birth, the mom will usually start to feel colder and be in a colder state because she's open, the baby is out, the blood and everything is going back to the way it was before. Everything is changing. So she's in a colder state. So then that's why we emphasize keeping the mom warm with blankets, covering her hair. They cover the feet, long clothes, and then hot foods. So nothing cold, no cold water, no cold drinks, no ice, no cold salads, no raw foods. So it's all hot, warm, needs to be easy to digest. So when it's cooked food, it's easier to digest for the new mom because it's already been broken down. So that's why we focus on hot and warmth. Yes, harira is wonderful as a warming food. Yes, that's on my recipe list coming. Spices and herbs. We emphasize spices and herbs. We already have lots of spices and herbs in Moroccan cuisine anyways. So today I made couscous dish with vegetables, and I put ginger, turmeric, cumin, black pepper. I've used parsley. I'm sure there's something else. Anyways, there's lots of different things that go into food in general, but for the postpartum, we include more. So we use all of those herbs, and then we also add in fenugreek. There's black seed, red seed, known as cress seeds, also used in the UAE. We also use garlic, coriander, and the most famous spice mix is called Ras Al Hanout. If you translate it literally, it means the top of the shop. Yes, there it goes. Gina saying Ras Al Hanout. It's basically approximately a mix of about 30 spices, sometimes more, sometimes less. But it includes all the spices I've mentioned and the herbs, and then they add on things like cardamom, cloves, all sorts of things. So on my course, I'll show you how to make it yourselves. And ideally with spices and herbs, it's great to store them in glass containers to preserve their life. Yes, Imara loves Ras Al Hanout and Gina as well. So the food we serve new mothers should be soft, as I mentioned, and cooked. Of course, if you're working with a new mom and she only eats raw food, then, what can you do? You're not going to change people, but it's just about, this is what traditional Moroccan medicine does, and it's done for a reason, and it's been done for generations, and many other cultures do that. So you could let the new mom what's been done, and then she's free to do what she wants. Some new mothers, for example, are vegans. They eat raw food, but then during their postpartum, they choose to eat different things that are not raw, for example, or even include meat. Some women also crave these things. So it's all up to the mother, but I'm just explaining everything that's done traditionally in Morocco. Even the drinks, warm teas, so Moroccan mint tea with lemon verbena, with wormwood, hot milk, with herbs as well, with cinnamon. So everything includes herbs and spices. That's very important because herbs and spices are medicine, and they were used by all cultures previously to heal and prevent future ailments. And try to get as much organic as you can get. That's ideal. If you cannot, okay, but if you can find organic locally, that's great. Bakti says, I have never had Moroccan food. Looking for, you have to try. Hopefully you'll like it. And it starts from birth. We're nourishing the mom. So of course in pregnancy, she's being nourished, especially in the last month. Usually the last month of pregnancy, the new mom to be is with her mother or her mother-in-law or with somebody who's helping her, preparing foods for her. And then as she's giving birth, traditionally, the chicken soup, the harira, the warm drinks would be on the gas cooking, filling the room up with lots of aromas. And so as soon as the new mom becomes a new mom, the food is served to her straight away. Imara is saying some of the best food in the world. LOL. Are you Moroccan, Imara? So a few recipes. Of course, I cannot go into details of how you make each dish. That would take forever. But on the course, we're going to have videos and recipe cards and exactly how to make them for the postpartum mom. So I'm just going to share a few things that we do in Morocco. So we have the first one is rfisa, with the R, rfisa. This is a specific postpartum dish for new moms. It's made with so many things. So the main part of the dish is made with chicken, always local organic chicken, lots of onions, garlic, parsley, fenugreek, lentils, black pepper, ginger, turmeric, salt, and then they add on the ras al hanout, and that's all cooked like a soupy kind of broth. And then the base of the dish, so we make our own handmade Moroccan flatbreads, and then they're shredded, and all the sauce and chicken and goodness goes on the top, and then boiled eggs as well. I've hardly met any vegans in Morocco, and I've never heard of a vegan rfisa, but we did make one last year in the retreat because we had some vegan ladies like Pilar, and we made her a vegan dish. So instead of the chicken, we used root vegetables like carrots, pumpkin, potato, and so it tasted actually amazing. So all the warming spices and herbs were there, and we used vegetables, which are also, of course, very important as well. So you can play around. And then dates, I've mentioned, eggs. A lot of eggs are eaten boiled, and then they use the ras al hanout as well. Teas, Moroccan mint tea is a very famous one. Milk, warm milk. Ras al hanout is the spice mix. And then there's porridges, so different types of barley, oats that are made either with cooked in water with spices and olive oil. So that's a good vegan vegetarian option. And then we have the other one is made with milk. Someone's saying milk with filet. Yes, that's pennyroyal, I believe. The funny thing though, I've had some midwives from England who told me that they do not give pennyroyal. There's some contraindication for having that in the postpartum. But in Morocco, they've been drinking that with milk. So you can just leave that one out if you're not sure. But in Morocco, yes, it's very popular. Harira. Harira is a soup, a very famous Moroccan soup. In the month of Ramadan, you will probably see people throughout Morocco drinking that soup to break their fast. So it's always something warm because you've been fasting all day. And then we have something warm to help with the digestion. So for the new mom, we give them harira soup. It's made with a lot of tomatoes, again, onions, herbs, and spices. It's super delicious. Yes, Emily, pennyroyal herb is flayu in Moroccan Arabic. It's complicated to find the translations because in Arabic it's different to Moroccan Arabic sometimes. So how do we nourish her? I think it's ideal to create a postpartum plan for yourselves and any women you're working with. So while you're pregnant, it's good to look at what things are you going to eat when you give birth, who's going to be making them, most importantly. Will you set up a meal train? So there's websites online that you can set up and send them out to your friends, and then they can put in the dates that they will bring a meal over to you. You can have a postpartum doula come in, family, friends. So it's good to have a plan and for all your postpartum, not only for the food. Emma is saying pennyroyal can be liver toxic. So I suppose that's why midwives have been saying that. But as I've mentioned, traditionally in Morocco, it's been used for generations, and any elder will tell you about that. That's one of the things they drink, and I drink it as well. So, but as there is a contraindication, so it's best to avoid it. If you're not sure, then avoid it. That's best. Thank you, Imara. So cook in your home. Will you cook for the new mom in your own home? Will you cook at her home? That's always a nice thing because she gets to know someone's in the house while she can just be resting, and she can smell all the beautiful aromas. cook themselves. Will they cook themselves? Ideally, a new mom will not have to cook for herself. Traditionally in Morocco, no new mom will cook for herself, and even nowadays most will not. So ideally she doesn't have to, but of course in reality many moms will have to. So again, that postpartum plan comes into place. You can buy ingredients in advance, things that will have a long life. So herbs and spices, perhaps you would have prepared some meals and frozen them. Ideally fresh is best, but of course second best would be to prepare the meals when she can and then freeze them in portions, or just get the support she needs. But ideally she will not have to cook. That's the main thing. So Gina says, I froze meals before giving birth. They lasted me 2 months and then I ate cornflakes. Exactly. So in the worst case, if you know you cannot get support or anything like that, prepare them in advance. You create the recipes, and then as you heat them up, you can also add more herbs and spices and eat the meals. Select the recipes that you want to have. So that's also good for the postpartum plan. And I've mentioned, buying ingredients in advance. Let me just go back. I pressed the wrong button. And I said, I don't need to go back, I'll just tell you. It was warmth. So we need to remember, nourishing her is all about warmth. Warm foods, warm drinks, easy to digest, soft and cooked. And of course, foods that are strengthening, have lots of minerals and vitamins, not gaseous. So she doesn't have any gases, does not get constipated. So that's the key things to remember for nourishing the new mom. And this is why we need to nourish her. Let me just mute somebody who just came in now. Okay, so let's continue. So how do you feel about traditional Moroccan medicine so far? What are your thoughts? What's going through your head? I know it's a lot to process in the moment, but that was your 2-year-old, no worries. I would have loved that someone cooked for me. My boyfriend only brought frozen pizzas and made omelets. I wish I had something healthy, not feeling guilty about fat. Yeah, it's a difficult one, especially if you have a partner and they don't know how to cook or don't know about these things. So it's difficult. So it's always good to plan in advance and then make sure you have that support for when you give birth and for the women after. Jenna is asking, is there any Qabla performing these rituals in the UAE, and how could we benefit from their services? There's no traditional Moroccan Qablas here in Morocco that I know of. I'm training other women to be able to offer these. I offer these services to clients as well, and hopefully I'm training other women to be able to do a few things. So just email me and then we can discuss if you would like to. This is awesome, Hanika saying. So what they offer in Haiti after birth is very similar. Amazing. Many cultures have similar things, slightly different, but then similar ideas of warmth and things like that. I agree for Ayurveda, Emily. Yeah, all similar things about warmth. Yes, the Malays too. Yeah, all the traditional postpartum cultures will say the same thing about not providing cold foods and protecting the mom from cold. Hanika says, after I had my daughter, my mother-in-law moved in, amazing, and did everything. Yeah, my mom, for me it was my mom. Imara, I love how intact systems are. It's so similar to the things done, particularly Central South America and the Caribbean. So much commonality. Yes, Ayurveda, warmth, ginger, dates, wrapping, and oil massages. Yes, Imara, I'm blown away. Thank you. Oh, you can continue writing in the chats while I continue. I think in Europe, the traditional food for new moms is lasagna. Why not? If it's you can make a good lasagna, lots of proteins, add in some herbs and spices, make sure it's nice, hot and warm. It's very hearty, delicious. And you can always adapt and add in more herbs and spices that are warming. I wish I got a lasagna, a nice homemade lasagna after my hospital birth. I got toast with butter and a cup of tea. I'm still grateful because they didn't have to give me anything, but yeah, that wasn't a new mother's meal. Luckily, my mom came in with her flask of hot soup. This is making me hungry too. I'm thirsty. Let me grab a sip of water and let's go on to nurture her. So we're almost there. So we have nurture her. Katie, thank you for sharing about your Ayurvedic postpartum food for new mom. Delicious. And that's the great thing with there's courses about Ayurvedic postpartum food and from different countries as well. So I always try to promote appropriation-free courses. So if you have done them or are doing them, that's great. And then if you continue with me, then you'll learn Moroccan things and you can serve lots of different women using a mix or doing one or the other or just seeing what mom prefers. Okay, what is it? What is it nurturing her? Nurture her. We nurture her. The Moroccan hammam is a relaxing steam bath. Olive soap, ghassul clay, and apple mints, lovingly washing, massaging, and steaming her with it. Her ceremonial tray is prepared. Silver, rose water, candles, a lot of love, compassion, and time is shared. Dates eaten and her head covered from the cold, all to protect her when she gets old. Filling her cup one drop at a time and just letting her shine. So this is something important about nurturing the new mom. So we're doing it throughout, as I mentioned. The new mom is being welcomed and honored throughout pregnancy. Then she becomes a new mom. That continues. We start to nourish her specifically in the postpartum period immediately. And the nurturing part usually starts on day 2. And I'm referring more to the physical things such as the hammam, the womb steaming. There's a spelling mistake in there. It should be a lot, not a 2. Just spotted that. So why do we need to nurture her, the new mother? And in the back, you can see behind the writing, that's a new mother. We had a celebration for her in Morocco. She was a stranger to me. It was her 7th baby. And then we invited her and created a celebration for her. It was amazing. Thank you, Emily. Yes, we also use Moroccan ghee, Moroccan salmon, it's called, a lot, and olive oil, and we use honey. We have so much amazing Moroccan honey that's also used in the postpartum. So we nurture her to help her physically, to help the healing, to help her spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. We've already discussed the importance of the postpartum period, so she needs to be nurtured. She needs to be a new mother, to be healed, to prevent future ailments, because her grave is open, as we've discussed, not literally, but because she's very, very vulnerable to depression, to suicide, to psychosis, and things like that. She's like a bride, and we want to avoid any depression. In Moroccan traditions, there's a lot of, we have a strong culture of the hammam. It's a Moroccan bathhouse, very popular in Morocco. In most cities, you'll find public hammams. So we have the women's hammam and the men's hammam. They never mix. You can go in there. That's how people traditionally used to always use to wash themselves. But also it was an experience, a cultural thing. So women would go together, neighbors and friends, they chat, they wash each other, scrub each other's back, wash each other's hair, and go home. And the whole family would go. So the older women, the younger women, it's a nice experience. And then herbs. We have lots of herbs that we use in the postpartum for the hammam, such as the most famous one being apple mint. It's not very popular, but in the Moroccan postpartum, this is the number 1 herb that we use, is apple mint. Not for ingesting, like eating, but it's used for steams in the hammam, always traditionally. And natural beauty in terms of using natural products like olive soap and clays to wash the new mom, to rub her body and massage her within the hammam. So how do we nurture her? We do that through the other stages that I've been mentioning. We also do that through the hammam, which I'll talk about more in a minute. You can replicate it in your home. So now I'm just giving information of what we do, but if you want to learn how to do it step by step and to watch videos, then if you join the online course, you will learn all these things and be able to offer it as a service to new mothers. As I mentioned, we use lots of herbs and steams. Womb steaming, so after in the postpartum we use the womb steam. We don't use it in pregnancy. It's used for infertility issues and period menstruation issues. but we don't use it in pregnancy, but definitely in the postpartum period. So a recipe of a steam that was shared through the summit as well, and there's a PDF about it within the summit and on my website. So we use the pennyroyal herb, apple mint, myrtle, which is also known as holy basil, and lavender. So this is a nice postpartum mix. Not only does it look good, it smells absolutely amazing. Every single client I've worked with, when she smells this mix, it's like, oh, it feels good. It does something to your senses. It's really good to inhale. And it's great for the womb steaming. So you place a bowl with these herbs with boiling water on top, next between the mom's legs, and she just sits over it for 10 to 15 minutes. This helps to expel all the lochia, to help with the healing, to help the uterus. It does its job anyway, shrinking back to size. This is just to enhance. Any infections, it helps with that, with the tissues, if there were any tears, soreness, swelling. So this is all to support that. And then also apple mint on its own is used commonly all the time, traditionally. So how to do it? We use only, again, warm and hot water for the bath. It can be done in the shower. Mom can be goodness me, could be seated on a chair or on the floor on a mat. If you have a bathtub, she could be laying in it. And if you can get to a hammam, then she could lay there as well. Herbs, we use the herbs, apple mint always. The natural products such as olive soap, that's used to massage the whole body from head to toe, massaging upwards, massaging the body, helping with all the aches and pains and letting the goodness of the olive soap get into the body. And we also have the rasul clay, which is also, again, massaged on the whole body, sometimes also mixed with the henna leaves. And we make sure she stays warm again. So this is always emphasized. So no cold, no air conditioning. So as soon as she has the bath, when she gets out, before stepping outside, she needs to make sure there's no air conditioning, no fans, no doors open. And in the UAE, where I'm living, especially now in the summer, it gets up to 50 degrees, it's super hot. But I still will not put on AC if I'm working with a new mom, even if I'm sweating, because I don't want her to catch any colds. So we cover their head, wear socks on the feet, and you get fully dressed. And usually they will get dressed in the hammam before going outside. And when they go out, they wrap a huge cloth. So if they go outside to the public bath, that's probably the only place a new mother would go to. Usually it's very close, or she would go in a car, and she would be wrapped completely, fully wrapped, so no cold. So we do the nurturing also with lots of love, lots of prayers, compassion and healing. In Morocco, there's lots of prayers, and all the traditional midwives that I have met believe they got this blessing from God. So they believe that God is the one doing the healing. They are the vessel. So they do lots of prayers, and they have lots of compassion. The traditional midwife told me herself, the key thing to have is compassion and healing. Lots of healing. This is all about nurturing her and healing the new mums. And so why do we need to nurture her? This is the same as I've keep mentioning. So Charlotte, let me just check the chat. Charlotte is saying, is that because Ayurvedic comes from Ibn Sina, which is Arabic, and Avicenna is the other word for it? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing these words. That's interesting. I'm going to look into that, but if anyone else knows, please share below. Yes, because Juhi is saying, Indian culture, Ayurvedic is almost similar, using garlic milk to heal the body and give warmth, massaging with oil that is heating to the body, belly binding, fenugreek, cumin, water, etc. Yes, very similar. Many cultures have these similarities, just differences. For example, in Morocco, we have the hammam, the Moroccan hammam, which is obviously only done in Morocco. There's different, like the Turkish bath is done obviously in Turkey, but it's done completely different. And then the foods, of course, are different, and the clothing and the belly binding is done in different ways. But yes, if anyone has any information on that, please share. So I'll move on to the next stage, which is closing her. And someone is saying ancient Ethiopia, major connection to Ayurveda. Okay, this is all very interesting. It's good for us to research more. Someone saying exchange between Islamic world and India is known since the Mughal. Yes, and there's lots of Islamic influences as well. Of course, there's a lot of Muslims in India as well. So there's always mixes. So closing her. What is that about? We close her. A traditional ritual dating back since war, wrapping her from head to toe, always longing for more, closing her bones, body and pelvis, using a wrap to create this. This is just a quote from Annie, a client of mine. She was a postpartum mom, and as she says, it's hard to describe it into words. So closing, we do the closing, so wrapping the belly binding. But then also a thing we call, either it's called closing, or when it's translated, closing of the bones in Morocco. So we close from head to toe. This specific thing is not found in many cultures. I know it's found in the Mexican culture, that in a different way it's done. It's very similar but different. And the Moroccan way, I haven't found that specifically in other cultures, the way it's done. But as I said, Mexican is similar. Yes, the serrada in Mexico, I've done a workshop with the Mexican woman just to see the similarities and differences. So it's very similar. And we need to, why do we close the new mom? Again, it's all about, firstly, we have the physical healing. So as you may know, through pregnancy, labor and birth, the body changes completely. So the organs shift, the uterus grows, everything is changing, the pelvis expands slightly to allow space for the baby to pass through. So all this is about helping the mom to close. The traditional midwife, when I asked her, so what is closing? She said, closing is to close. So you're in an open state to close everything back physically. And many women have aches and pains on the pelvis and the sacrum area. So this is very important to help the mom get back to the pre-pregnancy state slowly. And it's usually done traditionally. A new mother could have a closing 3 times in a week, 2 times in a week, sometimes less, sometimes more. And then it's also to help, as we keep mentioning, the healing, closing the end of the pregnancy circle, spiritual and emotional healing. It's such an amazing, it's a ritual with a body work mixed together. Marian's saying, we used to have, I don't know how to pronounce that in Holland, sluitslaken, closing blankets, literally translated. You see, there's lots of similarities. So we know the elders of generations past were very wise, and they knew what the new mother needed and what was most beneficial to her. And the closing feels absolutely amazing. So it's done. We have the full body closing. And we have belly binding just on the abdominal area for the womb, focusing on the womb area to help it go back to place. And also it gives such amazing support. And it's done traditionally, as I've mentioned. Now, not a lot of people don't know about that in the cities, but in rural areas, it's still a little bit common. And it dates back since the times of war. The traditional midwife told me that even men, they used to go to war, and when they would come back and their body was aching, so from aches and pains, they would close them to help them feel better for the next day. And we use incense sometimes, bukhur, natural incense, to make the room smell nice, to let the mom inhale that as well. And it's all about natural healing. And sometimes we have drums, some songs, some prayers. And how do we close her? We use a traditional cloth. So there in Morocco we have a beautiful traditional cloth, handmade, all made by hand, made from wool. So they're very long, and then the women, there's a picture, let me go back. The women wrap them around their womb area. So even if they're not pregnant or giving birth, you'll see all women traditionally used to bind. Even the traditional midwife on the left, that's the traditional midwife Qabla Amina, she's always wrapped, and her daughter Nabila on the side. Especially if you're doing anything, any housework, it helps to keep the support. And so it was a traditional thing that all women used to do. Now, not many women do that. And in the postpartum, it's very important. So you can see this is a type of closing and laying on the side. So Malaki is asking, is the closing effective at any time postpartum or specifically the 40 days? No, you can do it anytime. If you heard the audio from Pilar, she's 10 years postpartum and it had effect on her. Ideally, if we can, we would give it to the mother within the first 40 days, because that's when it's most effective, within the first 40 days. But then also after the 40 days, we can also do that. So I've had it before and then after as well. Yes, even 30 years later, anytime. It's a beautiful ritual and you feel good, and it helps with healing in all aspects. I love it so much. So we do the side laying. In the online course, we will have videos about closing her from head to toe, the belly binding. But in order to offer this to new mothers, this will not be on the course because you need to practice and do this live. So I'm doing a workshop in Dubai. I do them in Morocco, and I'll be doing them in England as well for women who want to do that, to take that on as well as a separate thing. And hopefully I will travel into different countries and offer that if people want to organize workshops and things like that in the future. So the closing is usually almost always done after the hammam. So you have the hammam, lots of warming, lots of warm water, rubbing, massaging, the steam, the herbs. You come out, you're wrapped up, you're dressed. You could have something to eat or afterwards, and then you're closed. You have the belly binding. It's perfect. And then, as usual, lots of love, prayers, compassion, and healing. And again, staying warm. I think you've got that now. Traditional Moroccan medicine, staying warm, no cold, no windows, no fans, no air conditioning. And this is why we need to close her. It's the same as I keep mentioning, all these things. So now we're going to last but not least, celebrating her. But haven't we been doing that already? That's what I keep saying in my poem. We celebrate her. Wait, haven't we been doing that already? We have, but we have been taking it steady. Henna, food, laughter and tears, lots of ululating and cheers. That, my sisters, is the nafsa, the new mother, treated not like any other. And yes, that's how she should be, not treated like any other. And why do we need to celebrate her? We all know, because she's brought new life. She's like a bride. She's a new mother. She's vulnerable, and we need to help her through the emotional, physical, and mental changes. And all the stages we've been doing have been about celebrating her. And in Moroccan tradition, we have strong celebration type of culture. So weddings are a huge deal. Eid parties and the Eid celebrations. Friday is a special kind of holy day, and we go to the mosque, and then couscous is typically eaten in many households in Morocco all together. And then new mothers, we have special tradition to celebrate the new mom. So I like the fact that different things will have specific celebrations that will heal that person and help that person in that stage of their life. Malak is saying, inshallah, will the public have access to practitioners you recommend globally? Of course. So whoever does the course and certifies and starts to offer these services, we will have a directory, and then that's the whole point. So new mothers can contact any one of these practitioners around the world, and they will be able to help them. Traditional postpartum birth workers. So how do we celebrate her? So through a lot of what I've mentioned already, the other stages. We have something called the Aqiqah, which is also an Islamic celebration, and it's also known in Morocco as the Sabah, coming from the word seventh, so usually on the 7th day. So all the family, friends gather, they eat together, they share together, celebrate the new baby, you give charity, The new mom can have henna done on her hands and feet, beautified, dressed up, and they just celebrate the new mom and the new baby. There's also hammam parties. So I mentioned about the hammam. Sometimes all the women, the neighbors, the friends, the family, women will gather and go to the hammam together. They take a beautiful ceremonial tray filled with all different sorts of things like herbs, the spices. They take sugar and tea for the women who work in the hammam to honor them, and rose water, orange blossom water, and you take a beautiful tray and foods and dates, and you go have fun. The new mother gets washed with candles, and traditionally the traditional midwife would go with her, wash her, and then they all go back home, have the food, and the mom continues resting. Sounds fun. I wish I could do that. I don't want to have another baby, but I want to have another postpartum rest period. So as I mentioned, henna and beautification. There's always nice singing traditional songs. So this is why we need to celebrate her. And I keep repeating these same things again. So let's have a little recap so far on what I've been discussing. I know it's a lot to take, but it's good just to have this insight into what happens in traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine. So that's what we've discussed. We've looked at the 6 stages of healing that I've come up with from what I've gathered and learned with all the wonderful elders and my life experiences. The history and the culture. We've learned a little bit about that as well, which is important. When you want to learn from the source, you should know more about the history. So why have you joined me today? So some of you have joined to learn how to support new mothers traditionally and holistically, to know more about traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine, potentially be part of a tribe, a calling that you feel that you want to share with other women in your communities, to help change the international postpartum vibe, and potentially add a skill to your current offering, which will hopefully also make you more money. So maybe you're already an entrepreneur, a doula, a postpartum doula, working with women. You may have not been doing any of this and want to learn how to do these kind of things. So we've looked at 3 key things today. One of them being ancient wisdom is important. It's needed now, and we need to revive, reclaim, and restore this. Thank you, Marianne. I'll send an email out after if you want to know more information about the course. So it's a full spectrum healing art to heal and protect the nafsa. And appropriation is not beneficial for anyone, not for ourselves, not for the women we serve or the women who it comes from. So the secret is to keep the knowledge alive, share it correctly and use it correctly, to add an appropriation-free skill that helps you, the women, and the community. So the secret is possibly to bring traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine into your lives if you feel the calling, and lives of new mothers internationally. So the obvious question that I have is, how are you going to do this? So we have 2 options. You can just continue on the path you've been doing, or if you want to learn more and get training and support and be able to offer this service to women, then I would like to introduce you to the Nafsat Project School. I've been working on this for about a year, and it's based on all the traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine I've been talking about. It's an online course that will provide training to become a traditional postpartum birth worker, a traditional postpartum doula, for example. And I'll explain more in a minute. And it's based on TMPM. So this is just a nice image. And I'll go through the course now. It'll take about 10 minutes of your time. Thank you for allowing me. It's a full online program. So it's fully online. You'll get access to everything online. There'll be about 30 recorded videos. So each lesson will be broken down. We'll have 6 lessons plus a welcome lesson. And then within each lesson, there'll be a few videos, easy to digest videos. And then for the cooking, there'll be the cooking videos as well. There'll be audios as well, transcripts, workbooks, and supporting content. And because this is the first time I'm launching it, rather than just giving you the access and you go and do everything online yourselves, I'm offering free live online elements over 4 months. So 4 months of support where we'll be going through it together. So there will be specific dates starting from October 1st, and then I will release the modules slowly and we will go through them together. I'll explain what you get with the live support. So for the certification, what does that mean? If you've been a doula or postpartum doula, you would know there's no formal bodies anywhere that regulate this industry. So you could be a doula if you wanted to. It basically means serving and supporting women. But if you want to train and be trained in traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine, you would need to do that through a source, appropriation free, so that you could learn how to offer this to new women. So this course is certified through my business, Layla B. So you would be the Nefsa Project School traditional postpartum birth worker. And it's also based on traditional knowledge. So there's no bodies who approve that in any case. So it's just like all the other doula and postpartum certification programs out there. And it's all about serving women. Thank you, Rose. And you will get forever access to the course. It's all about reviving, reclaiming, restoring sacred and ancient wisdom and this medicine together to reach more women, to support women holistically and traditionally, to change this international postpartum vibe together, to be part of a tribe. It's appropriation free and it's all about giving back as well. So that's you can join the course knowing that it's not been appropriated. I'm Moroccan, the women I work with are Moroccan, and we give back to them all the time. And you will be approved to serve women with this knowledge. Grow your business and make more money. So if you already have a business, this could be something extra that you offer. If you don't have a business, this could be something that you start out with. So there's 6 core modules, and then there's a welcome module. 4 live webinars. So I'll do an additional 4 live teachings. So we'll go through their specific dates, which you can find on the link I'll share later. So this is all to support the learning. And we have 7 live Q&A calls. So you have any questions about the materials, about the work, about business, I will answer them then. We have implementation tasks. So we have tasks throughout as we go along that will help you to prepare and to certify. You can do them as we go along, or you could do them all at the end. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. So first we have the Welcome You model. That's just what it means in Arabic, the Arabic writing. So this is all about welcoming you into the program, letting you get to know everything, how it's going to work, and providing resource list, the agenda, extra information. Then we have Module 1, which will be all about Morocco and her medicine. So when you're learning from the source, it's always important to know about the culture, the country, the medicine, and you'll be provided with lots of videos and workbooks, supporting content, so that would benefit you and the people you serve. Welcome and honor her is the next module. So we will have specifics on how to welcome and honor the new mom, things that you could do. So it's basically a training, so that when you complete it, you'll be ready to offer services on an hourly basis, as a package. There'll be lots of different services you can offer. We have the Nourish Her module. This will be filled with the recipes, recipe cards, and then also videos, step by step, on how to create the dishes for new moms. Thank you, Noreen. Inspiring, returning to work to visit postpartum moms. That's great. Nurture her. Close her and celebrate her. So each module will have videos, workbooks, checklists on how you can do each thing. So how to belly bind. There will be videos on how you can belly bind for the new mom. The hammam, how to nurture the new mom. So step-by-step videos on how you can offer the hammam in the new mother's home, or in your home, or anywhere else. So you'll have a checklist of all the things you need to get and how to do it step by step, the benefits, the process. So it's all about becoming a traditional postpartum birth worker. And if you're a traditional doula, that's perfect. You can add that into the work you do. And we'll also learn about helping the mom at home, helping the mom to heal herself as well, helping the mom with baby, a few baby care module as well. And then we have business support. I think this is very important because many courses just focus on the knowledge. You train and then you're like, okay, how do I find clients? How can I increase my marketing? How can I increase my visibility and put myself out there? So we'll have one of the bonuses will be a live webinar where I will prepare information that will help you in your business. And you can also ask throughout on the live Q&A calls. I'll support you with any questions you have. We have lifetime access to a private Facebook group, a different group, which will only have the women on the course. So you can all connect, you can ask questions, and you have 4 months. For the first 4 months, I'll be there all the time, answering the questions, doing the Q&As and things like that. And also after the 4 months, whenever you need me, I'm there in the group as well. And we'll also offer support in looking into our own traditions as well. So if you're from a specific ethnic background, we can all together share and look up traditions and support each other. All right, you're probably thinking, let's talk about the money. How much is this thing? So yesterday, it was great on the live workshop. I've had some women joining already. And one lady asked me, we only had the three-part installments payments plan. And the lady said, please, could you do a six-part payment plan? It will help a lot. So we've done that for you all. So if you want to join, it's 6 equal payments of £113.50. That's how it worked out. So I had to leave it like that. So this is a payment plan for six payments. So you make the first payments, and then the others will automatically be deducted 1 month apart. And this is a special early bird rate. So if you look at the bottom, the price will go up after September the 9th. Oh, I think it was September 12th. But in any case, this is the early bird rate. So this is a 6-part payment plan to help you if you need to do it in installments. And we have a 3-part payment plan, which is 227 Great British pounds. So you would do that 1 time, and then second time and third time, it's automatic. So you don't have to worry about that. This is also an early bird rate. And if you want to pay 1 time, you get a discount. So it's cheaper if you do 1 single payment. It's 597 Great British pounds. You save £84. So this in US dollars, 597 pounds is approximately $800 US. But please check on Google. I don't want to promise anything. This is just an approximate conversion rate. So please check on Google. This is also a early bird rate, and it will go up after, back to the normal rate. So that's the payment. So hold up. I have some special bonuses because you are here today. A special bonus that the other women will not get who are not here on the call because you took the time to come here. So firstly, this is the link. This is the link to check out all the information on this page. We've been working on it for so many months. So you'll have all the information. There's FAQs, there's the course agenda, there's beautiful pictures, there's the video. Anything you need is on this page. I'm going to put it in the comments. leilab.co.uk/TNPS. TNPS stands for the Nafsa Project School. So there it is. Feel free to have a look after we're done, and you can get every single detail you want is on there. And within the course, on the page, you'll see that there's different bonuses that I'm offering on the course. One of the bonuses that are in the course, this is available to everyone, is the business building webinar that I mentioned. That's the price it's worth, and you're getting it included. And the workshop I call Bringing It to Life workshop. So you train, and then you're thinking, okay, how do I put this all together? So we'll look at how you can put packages together. So you could work per hour. You could do a postpartum package in terms of cooking for the new mom, or cooking and offering the bath and offering the closing and offering the celebration. You could break them down. So there's lots of different things you can offer, either together or separately. And we'll be going through that, and I'll tell you the prices that I normally charge, and you can do the same, or you can charge a bit more, a bit less. It's completely up to you. You charge the prices you want to do, but I'm there to guide you and let you know what kind of things we can do. And on the page, there's an FAQ section, and I've already listed lots of different things that you could offer the new mom as a traditional postpartum birth worker. So another bonus, which is nice, is around the end of 2019, I want to put together from these materials a course that you could teach pregnant women. So then you could help them plan the postpartum period. So it could be a workshop for pregnant moms or pregnant, couples, or you could work to her one-to-one and help her make her postpartum plan. And then you may be supporting her as well after the birth. So there's lots of options. And this way we can educate and raise awareness about the new moms and how they should be treated and how we can take care of them. Okay, next, this is the nice bonus. It's a money bonus, which always helps all of us. So today I'm offering you, if you enroll by 1 hour after we get off this webinar. So we're going to get off the webinar. You have 1 hour to enroll, which will give you a 15% discount. The discount code, all you need to do is go to the link that's on the bottom that I've shared in the chat, leilabeen.co.uk/TNPS, and you can read all the information. Then when you can choose your option, your 3 payments plan, 6, or one-off payments. And then you use this code, TNPS. When you buy now, use this code, TNPS15. It will automatically give you a 15% discount. So what does that equal to? So as I mentioned, if you do the 6-month payment plan, it was £113. It becomes £96 each month. So you save £102, which is great. I know this always helps all of us. If you do the 3-month plan, it becomes £192 from £227. So significant discounts for you ladies here. And if you do the single payments, it goes from $597 to $507, one-off payments. So that would be around $700 US. Please check online, so I'm not mistaken, but that's approximate. So I've put those codes in the chat. You can copy them, keep them safe, because I won't email them because they're only for you. If you do forget, just in case, you can email me. And I've also on the page, when you go to the link, if you scroll to the bottom, there's a WhatsApp number. You can contact me on WhatsApp or email, and I'll give it to you again. And then another bonus I'm offering as an incentive for the women here who took the time to be here. For the first 5 to enroll today, it doesn't matter what time, just the first 5. So whoever does it first, you'll get a one-to-one private mentoring session with me personally. So on the course, you can take it anytime, in the beginning, the middle, or the end. And you could focus it. It depends on what you want to get more out of, whether it be the work you're doing, the traditional Moroccan postpartum medicine, business support. So I usually do this with my business clients. I do one-to-one mentoring. So this will help a lot. So the first 5 will get it, absolutely free included. And you get the discount, TNPS 15. So this is just a summary of what you get. It's a 4-month live program for this round. You get lifetime online access, so you can always access the materials. Anytime we update the materials, add more things, you will get it. This is just the value of everything. 4 live teachers, 7 live Q&A calls, lifetime group, Facebook group, course bonuses, discounts on any live events and trainings. And if you ever decide to do the retreat in 2019, that happens in Morocco, where you get to experience and practice there, then usually the online course is included in that. So if you decide to join, you will get a £400 deduction from your retreat price. So if there's spaces and you want to join, then you don't have to worry. It will work out just right. So we'll give you that discount. And I'm going to give you, if you join the course, you will get the all access pass of the summit. So that's the total value. And this is how much we're offering it for. I really tried to make it as affordable as possible. And I give back at least 10% will go back to my Moroccan fund to help moms and traditional midwives and women over there. And they've already also been paid. I always pay them every time I meet them. So it's appropriation free. These are the payments. And all of this is on the page, so you don't have to worry. You don't need to absorb all of this. This is the link. If you want to, if you feel the calling, you can go to the page and see how you feel and read